Morning, this is the Eager Beaver Show.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters, CanadianTarot.com, your uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and the Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind.
Well, good morning, and looks like it's going to be a solo grizzly today. Mr. Beaver has no sound, so hopefully he can get his new computer installed and operational today. Something happened, I don't know what, but he has no audio. We tried as many things as we could to get him operational, but it just wasn't working. So I thought it best we start the show at his suggestion. It was his suggestion to start, and he says, just go ahead and get it doing so that we can give you something to talk about today. Did anything happen last night? Did I miss it? Because I went to bed pretty early. I wasn't feeling well. Did anything? Well, folks, how do you address this? Democracy has spoken. They chose their leader. It's a free and fair election, and they decided to go backwards in time and elect a 34 convicted felon, rapist, misogynist, sexist, fascist pig. Oh, you offended that I said those things about Trump? He says them about everybody, and that's exactly who he is. 34 times convicted felon, rapist, sexist, misogynist, fascist pig. And let's not forget, he lusts after his own daughter. So he's also a sicko. We won't go down that pathway this morning, but we will discuss the twisted mentality of this man. And along with the fact that if he didn't win, he'd scream that, oh, they cheated, they lied, it was fixed, the fix was in, they stole, blah, 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 blah. But because he's won, nothing of that is being said. Nothing like that is being said. So here we go, 4 years. Oh, wait, no, won't be 4 years. It'll be eternity. Because you remember he said back a few months ago that if he gets elected, they'll never have to have another election. He's according to the Supreme Court of the United States of America, he is now the king. Well, you got a good point there, Tom. Tom here, I'm going to put this on the screen. He says free and fair isn't really a thing with the Electoral College. Yes, I know that does kind of fix it. It's like somebody may win the popular vote, and people will say, oh, the popular vote such in Canada won. We don't have a popular vote in Canada. It's not a thing. It doesn't exist here. It is a thing in the United States of America because you can vote directly for the president. We don't vote for the prime minister. We don't elect a prime minister. We elect a parliament, and the leader of the party that wins the most seats can form government, and that leader can choose to be prime minister, or they can step aside and have their deputy take that position. In this case, it looks like the Senate has swung to 52 Republican Senate seats, so they now have a majority there. 276 Electoral College votes for Trump versus 223 for Harris, so it's 52.9 to 45. That doesn't seem to add up correctly, but whatever. It looks like, it looks like Trump is the 47th president of the United States of America. I guess they chose to go backwards in time, and instead of electing a woman of color who has served in all three branches of government in the United States of America, they chose a reality TV star who doesn't pay his contractors. And we all know how much of a pig he is. So my disdain and hate for this man is no secret. He is a horrible human being who will do horrible things. Now, how soon before they put 2025 plan, or how was it, Action 20 Plan 2025, or whatever the hell that is, that the Heritage Committee is formed, which is a Christian nationalist movement? How soon before that gets invoked? And what you're saying, Cassie, is a lot of speculation around that too. That Vance and Stephen Miller will bounce Trump out in the spring, shortly after he takes his oath of office. They will use the 25th Amendment to say that he's demented, he is not mentally well, and we know he's not, to get rid of him, so that way they can fully do whatever they want. And because the president of the United States of America has more power than a king, he answers to no one. He's just going to do whatever he wants. You know, the funny thing was, when the Supreme Court brought that up, it meant that the president could openly unalive somebody in the public square, and there was nothing that could be done about it. Joe Biden, who is still the president of the United States of America until January 20th, when the handover takes place, he hasn't chosen to use the power given to him by the Supreme Court because he feels that it's not democratic, and it isn't. So I don't know what happens next. He's, the suggestion that Trump will pardon himself from his convictions and his upcoming trials. He's just going to wipe this slate clean. Yes, you are correct, Cassie. The Project 2025 groundwork was laid in the United States already with the abortion bills. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few days, weeks, and months. I know that women across the United States are now very, very afraid that they will be put into red habits with white hats and become extras in The Handmaid's Tale. What becomes of the United States after this? I don't know. Is the republic finished? Is it done? Is democracy dead in the U.S.? That could very well be the case. I don't know. I don't know what tomorrow brings. I know that people are panicked. I know that people are worried and concerned. If you are a person of color, if you are a female, if you are a female presenting individual, if you are non-binary, if you are gay, if you are an immigrant, if you don't speak English without an accent, I think a lot of people in the U.S. are worried. And how he's going to start enacting his deport 10 million individuals, well, that's going to cost the economy trillions, literally trillions. It's $150 a night or $150 a day to put somebody into a temporary holding cell before they have their hearing to deport them. And their average time takes 46 days before the hearing takes place. So 150 times 10 million for 46 days. Do the math. But knowing Trump, knowing him, he'll just pass an executive order and it will just be done because he now has the powers of a king. He'll just say, no, just put him on a plane and get him out of here. They're like, but the other country has to accept them. That's why we have to have a hearing. Now, I don't care. Just send him away. I have a feeling he's going to try that. What will that do to the U.S. economy? Well, we already know he wants to put 1,000% tariffs on everything, which just gets passed on to the consumer. So he's going to kill the economy. He's going to destroy the standing already more than he has in the last 4 years. You've had Joe Biden, who's tried to bring it back and created the infrastructure bill and the CHIPS bill. Trump wants to cancel all of that. He wants to cancel taxes left, right, and center. I just don't understand how people can go so far backwards in time like this. It's just beyond understanding how women could vote for this man, how immigrants could vote for this man, how a person of color could vote for this man, how somebody who is gay or straight, who actually has care for democracy and humanity could vote for this man. I don't understand what just took place. But hey, I'm not questioning the results of the election. I'm questioning the sanity of it. I'm questioning the ability for people to think clearly and make an informed decision. How soon? Yes, Carol, how soon before Russia totally takes Ukraine, because Trump will cut off all funding to Ukraine. He's just going to hand Ukraine right over to Russia because Putin wants it. He's a Putin puppet, we know that. It looks like Russia is the new leader of the free world, as the Americans love to say, and I always hate that saying because nobody leads the free world. The free world has leaders of their own in each and every country that we reside in. Trump is the leader of the United States of America and nothing else. Just a second. Sorry, technical difficulties here too, folks. Stuff happens. What can I say? Everybody's on edge today. Everybody who believes in decency, who believes in social programs, who is progressive, everyone who believes that we are here to help out our community and each other, that we need to lift each other up. Everyone who is different looking than me and different sounding than me, who wants a better place in this world, is on edge today. I'm on edge today because I know this is going to hurt everyone in the long run. The only people who will benefit from Trump's presidency are the wealthy and powerful. The rest of us, we're swimming in the ocean on our own, and to hell with us. We're done. We're finished. Now, I'm going to show you something here. And this is, I don't understand. I really don't understand things.
Put that hat on. You've been up. People should know you've been up all night. Were you at a polling station, or what were you doing as you watched the returns come in?
So I'm the dreaded frack engineer that has been the subject of debate across the country and even in Canada. And so I've been out here on location. I started my shift yesterday afternoon, and I was finishing up. And about after midnight, we were in the middle of fracking a stage, and just we saw Pennsylvania turn, and we knew it was going to turn sooner or later, but it literally turned in the middle of the stage, and a big sign of relief from everyone there. But just the rest of the night, we've all been on a rush since then.
So I am wondering, when you say that you're there working in the fracking part of oil and gas, if anyone was watching our conversation last week, and I hope they were, what you explained to us was you had voted Democrat before, but you voted for Donald Trump and got friends and supporters on Trump's support line too, because you felt you got jobs, you got work because of Donald Trump. Just explain that economic connection that you felt as an American to Donald Trump.
Well, yes. Once again, I wrote about this in my Newsweek op-ed. And what I saw as a minority in this country during Obama's time, there was a lot of shift in the economy from the private sector to the regulatory bodies. And so when Trump came in, the first thing he did was he reduced all of the regulations that was on energy and manufacturing and pushed for trade deals that brought a lot of that work back home. And so my support for him came from seeing the benefits of what he did in his administration for people like myself in the workforce. Now, everyone that's supporting Trump today, not only are they looking at it from the economic standpoint, but now we're also looking at the national security standpoint as well. Us giving away the oil and gas sector, giving away our manufacturing. We saw during COVID how many of our products and how many of our pharmaceuticals were not even made in the United States or North America. So a lot of this becomes now a security situation. And Trump had the best agenda to bring those things back home and incorporate the workforce locally while doing so. So I think that a lot of folks rewarded him for that plan that he laid out so clean.
So that's really interesting. I really wanted to help you, have you help us understand that, because that closing message from Donald Trump, you know, do you feel like you're in a better position now than you were 4 years ago? And clearly Americans, in voting as they have, said, no, we're not in a position now. That the vote for Donald Trump on the economy seems to be the #1 consideration for Americans. And you would understand that it superseded every other concern, all the other issues out there. It's about the economy. Would you agree with that? Well, I mean, you said security as well, but it's all part and parcel, really.
Yeah, it all works together. I mean, so famous Democratic strategist James Carville from the Clinton administration, he's even been a part of the Obama and Biden administration consulting to them. He said it's the economy, stupid. And at the end of the day, the most tangible thing that every single person touches is their groceries, the gas, paying their light bill, paying rent. When you see these costs outpacing the cost of the price of your income, what you're bringing in, you're not able to maintain that. And so the lack of comfort that people felt in their day-to-day expenses, I mean, that was where the main issue was at. I think the Democrats and Kamala in particular tried to distract from that by making it more about women's rights and reproductive justice and so forth. And we know from the Guttmacher Institute that abortion is up over 11% since the Dobbs decision. So it's not to say that abortion has been curtailed. Yes, that's changed in terms of the way it's provided in different states. However, abortion is still taking place. It's not completely outlawed. And so, you know, they tried to sleight of hand on that, but people couldn't get off the fact that I don't need an abortion. I need to pay for my car insurance.
Okay, that's enough of that claptrap. I don't want to be listening to any more of that garbage. Oh, sorry. Bro bought in. What can I say? He bought in and he got suckered. The economy. Yes, exactly, Swanky Frankie. The economy, are you kidding me? Biden's changed it for the better. These clowns like our conservatives don't know the difference between federal and state law. You are correct, sir. And this guy is bought fully in. And the problem here is that this is the largely conservative bent. The attitude is, fuck you, I got mine. That's the attitude. They don't care about anybody but themselves. And if Trump can deliver anything to them that makes their lives 1 centilla better, they don't care that it harms somebody else. They don't care that people get kicked out of the country because they're undocumented and they pick their fruits and vegetables and do their lawn work and their yard work and their pool work and make fast food restaurants work, and actually every restaurant work, because there's so many people that work in restaurants as busboys and waiters and dishwashers and general cleaners that keep the economy rolling. The U.S. economy relies upon not undocumented or illegal aliens, however you want to call it. It's built upon it. And without it, you're going to get a lot of wealthy people who are going to get very angry when he starts deporting everybody left, right, and center, because of the fact that they're able to pay them less than they could pay somebody who looks like me to do the same job. And they will take that money because they can't complain, because they're undocumented, and this person knows they're undocumented. To say they don't pay tax, though, is a falsehood, because taxes are taken off their paycheck, their measly paycheck, where they pay them less than minimum wage. And taxes are paid on that for somebody who has absolutely no rights. Think about that for a sec. So you come to America as an undocumented worker. You have absolutely no rights. You can't vote. You can't speak up, because if you do, they'll discover that you're illegal. and deport your ass. So you take a job working for less money than somebody who looks like me would get, because they'd rather hire you to pay you less than pay me. And if you get hurt on the job, they just deport you anyway. Say, we didn't know he was illegal. It's a nice cop-out for greedy capitalists who just want to harm people. Just a second, I got to adjust my chair. That's better. Lola's sitting here beside me this morning, licking my elbow. Hi, sweetheart. Would you like to come up and say hello to everybody? Would you like to come up? Come up and say hello? There you go. Look at you. What a pretty girl. What a pretty girl you are. Hey? You get your own mic? What do you got to say? Huh? Oh, look at you. Here, we'll use this mic for the time being so that I can be picked up a little bit better. Oh, yeah, don't lick my ear. Don't lick my ear. I got headphones in there. Silly. There you go. What a good girl. Look at you. See, you're my emotional support animal. Yes, you are. You make the world a better place just by being in it. And trust me when I say this, she does. So don't worry. We're all going to be okay. Everybody gets a virtual Lola hug this morning. Hey, Lola, there's your microphone. Go ahead. Give it a sniff. Give it a sniff. She doesn't know what to say. Okay, baby girl. Okay, yes, it's lovely. Daddy's got some work to do. Can Daddy do some work? I have to work, darling. That's why I'm in the chair in the green room. Okay, go see Mommy. Go see Mommy. Go see Mommy. I think she could use a hug. Go see Mommy. She needs a hug. Mommy needs a hug. There you go. Good girl. I think we all need a Lola hug today, don't you? We definitely could use her comfort. That's for sure. So, what does tomorrow bring? I don't know. I honestly don't know. How will we be tomorrow? Well, I think we'll still be here. We'll be alive. It's not like the nuclear warhead has been dropped on us. Actually has, proverbially. What does this mean for us here in Canada with the looming election in 2025? Well, that's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't know. I honestly don't think Pierre Poilievre will be around by that time because his lack of security clearance is becoming a bigger issue than he ever thought it would, because the Liberals, thankfully, are hammering the hell out of him on this. And I say, get on it and stick on it and stay on it every single day. Every single day. Hammer the living hell out of him for it, because he needs to be hammered for it. He absolutely should be. There's no reason on this earth as to why he shouldn't be. He needs his clearance. He refuses to get it. What is he hiding? He's hiding something. So I believe that by the time the next election rolls around, he will not be in power. So I don't think we have anything to fear when it comes to that. I haven't been able to find much from folks around the world, like other countries, saying what other leaders have said about this yet. I'm trying to find info, but I'm not really getting any. Although I did see a funny comment here on the Twitter from at CDN Resistance. It says, all the Freedom Convoy clowns got boners when they heard Donald Trump won the election. Oh, boy. Yeah. Well. Where do we go from here? What comes next? I really don't know. Hopefully Mr. Bever can get his computer fixed for tomorrow's show. He has his new computer. He just hasn't had the chance to put it in. I said, looks like today your hand has been forced because he had no audio at all. So let's see if he can get that done and get us up and operational for tomorrow. I just wanted to check on something here. What is this? Oh, yes. In the news, I want to get off of Trump for just a few minutes. Let's take a break from Trump and the new president, the 47th president, the clown show, real estate fraud, non-contractor paying former reality TV star, 34-time convicted felon, rapist, sexist, misogynist pig. Let's get off of him for a second, and let's address something here that I find fascinating and interesting, because somebody's about to find themselves in contempt, to say the least. This is from Rachel Gilmore, and this took place yesterday. Lauren Chen, who is at the heart of Tenant Media and the Russia investigation for spreading propaganda, was called before the Interference Committee yesterday. I can't remember the official title name. I didn't get much sleep last night. I wonder why. Somebody woke me up at like 1 o'clock in the morning or something? Anyway, Lauren Chen was called before the committee to testify, and she just refused to answer questions, which is not something you can do. This is Canada. We don't have a Fifth Amendment to claim you don't want to speak on grounds you may incriminate yourself. The Fifth Amendment was to allow Manitoba into the country, to join Confederation, if memory serves. So Lauren Chen refused to answer questions in front of the committee, which means that she is in contempt and could face jail time for this. So let's watch what Rachel has to say. Do you ever know? I love her work. She's so damn good.
Chen, the influencer accused of aiding a Russian propaganda operation. You know, the one that ended up involving a bunch of right-wing influencers like Tim Pool, Lauren Southern, and Benny Johnson, who were paid eye-popping sums as part of an alleged Russian propaganda operation that they say they had no idea about. Yeah, well, Lauren, who was a founder of Tenant Media, which is the outlet at the center of this alleged propaganda operation, and who the DOJ indictment describes as literally texting with her husband about their investors being the, quote, Russians, was hauled before a Canadian parliamentary committee today, where she was pressed on her alleged role in the Russian propaganda campaign. And it went, poorly. Like, I'm talking, she wouldn't even confirm her own name poorly. Here's a little summary I made that captures the essence of her answers.
For the reasons already given, I have no comment. For the reasons already given, I have no comment. For the reasons outlined in my opening statement, I have no comment. For the reasons already given, I have no comment. For the reasons already given, I have no comment. Reasons already given, I have no comment. As I explained in my opening statement, at this time, I have no comment. For the reasons already given, I have no comment. For the reasons already given, I have no comment. For the reasons already given, I have no comment.
Literally, all her answers were like that. Now, it's actually not a huge surprise she didn't answer these questions, because while neither she nor her husband have been charged, she still described herself today to the committee as a, quote, target of a criminal investigation. And while the proceedings would be covered by parliamentary privilege in Canada, which means she can't really get in trouble for the things she says, that wouldn't be the case, according to her, in the United States. Still, her answers seriously pissed off the parliamentarians whose time was being wasted. But before the MPs agreed unanimously that her refusal to answer their questions could constitute a breach of privilege, which in turn could result in a serious slap on the wrist by the Speaker of the House of Commons, Liberal MP Nate Erskine-Smith had to get in one last sick burn.
What would you call someone who accepts $10 million from a foreign adversary to run a covert propaganda operation on behalf of that foreign adversary? What would you call that person?
For the reasons already given, I have no comment.
Well, I will answer it then. You would call that person a traitor.
Ouch. Now, Chen has offered to return after the investigation has been completed, and she's sure that no further proceedings will be taken against her. Then she says she'd be happy to answer all their questions. So, I guess we'll see if that happens. But until then, what do you think of all this?
Rachel, we would so love to have you as a guest on our show someday. You're so damn good at what you do. And you got jobbed by Polyev, by him pulling the puppet strings of the right-wing media masters at Global when they shit-canned you. And we know that's what happened. We know that's what happened. You spoke out against him, he lost his shit, he made sure you got canned. Because the media in this country is controlled by right-wing oligarchies who want to do us harm. I noticed that Polyev is trending on the Twitter. Why? I'm not sure. Let's just check the latest and see. He says, happy to see our greatest allies has now again got the strongest possible. This is just somebody, leader. It'll be better yet. Once again, Canada swaps out our weak leader for the strong Polyev, MCGA. Ready for the 3 Ps. Pipelines, Polyev, prosperity. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I don't think he will be around long enough. I really don't. I think he will be bounced out of Parliament and maybe charged. We don't know. What is he hiding? What kind of compromise does does Modi have on him? Time will tell. But Lauren Chen is in a lot of hot water and didn't want to say anything, which is a waste of parliamentary time, which is a waste of our tax dollars, which she will be reprimanded for. Can she do jail time for this? I don't know. Apparently not. But apparently for not answering questions, you can be punished. I don't know what the punishment is, but time will tell. And will she end up behind bars? Probably in the U.S. because the FBI is investigating her. I think it's only a matter of time. Her days are numbered, and I think she knows it. So maybe she's trying to gather her cash together to get to a country somewhere that does not provide extradition. And I don't know where that would be. Paraguay, maybe? I don't know. Either way, if she goes to a country that doesn't provide extradition, who's to say she doesn't end up in the back of a van somewhere being transported to an aircraft and flown back to the United States where they can process her? I mean, it's been done before. Lots of countries do it. It's covert. It's not really legal. But once you're on American soil, they can prosecute you the way they see fit. So what happens to her next? I don't know. I am going to share a clip of John Daly here, and we might get a copyright hit on this, which means I might have to erase it later. But we'll have it live for the time being, and it's because because of the fact that the Daily Show is a comedy and it's not a news network, although it deals with news. Lola, okay, sweetheart, thank you. Yeah, it's great to see you too. Yes, I love you very much. Thank you. Thank you for coming to see Daddy while he's working. Let's have a look at this Jon Stewart clip here. He's right. It is possible. Can we do it? I don't know. I'm probably going to copyright ding on that later. I might have to remove it, but that's fine. For the time, that's fine. What happens next? I don't know. Tomorrow is the day of shock. It might take a couple days before all the ballots are counted. We knew that. Trump has already announced that he's won. And I'm going to see if I can find that. I thought there was a video clip of him announcing that he was the victor. But I don't see where it is. Let's just see if there's one here. I don't know if he gave like a victory speech, but yeah, I don't see it. I'm having trouble finding it. Just a second here. Let's try another window and see if I can find that. Trump victory speech. Let's see. Is it Trump vows to lead golden age of America in victory speech to fix everything? Okay, this is from Fox News. I'm just getting photos. I'm not getting any video. I don't see any video of it. Oh, wait, here's the video. Okay. Well, let's, whoops. What's going on there? Let me just restart the video. What? Oh. Hang on. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can make this work now. For some reason, the thing went all haywire. It's a Fox News. They'll probably want to ding me as well. Okay, let's have this.
Well, I want to thank you all very much. This is great. These are our friends. We have thousands of friends on this incredible movement. This was a movement like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There's never been anything like this in this country, and maybe beyond. And now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we're going to help our country heal. We're going to help our country heal. We have a country that needs help, and it needs help very badly. We're going to fix our borders. We're going to fix everything about our country. And we made history for a reason tonight, and the reason is going to be just that. We overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible, and it is now clear that we've achieved the most incredible political thing. Look what happened. Is this crazy? But it's a political victory that our country has never seen before, nothing like this. I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president and your 45th president. And every citizen, I will fight for you, for your family, and your future. Every single day I will be fighting for you, and with every breath in my body, I will not rest until we have delivered the strong, safe, and prosperous America that our children deserve and that you deserve. This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again.
Make America great again. Well, the people have spoken, I guess. Huh? The people have spoken. There are other video clips here. I'll see if I can get them, but for some reason it just doesn't seem to want to let them load. Who knows? It's Fox News feed. Like I said, I'll probably get a copyright ding because they like to sue people. But here we are. Here we are. Where do we go from here? I don't know. Why is my camera reversed? That's not supposed to be like that. Hang on a second. There's that better? Let me just see here. I don't know. I'm fiddling around. I'm using different cameras and trying to feed different things. So let's see if that works correctly. Yeah, it's reversed, is it? Well, maybe I'll have to. No, there we go. Yeah, we're better. So I'm using this camera up here for the time being, which is an old phone, which works quite well, actually. Trying some new software out because we got to get inventive and creative sometimes. So I can lean back a little bit and just look at you right here. At the same time, while I'm doing that, I can also source some other material. Where do we go from here? I don't know. I honestly don't know. What happens next? What happens tomorrow? What happens the day after? Time will tell. I know that there are a lot of people in the United States who are really freaking out right now, and understandably so. I get it. You should be. There's good reason to freak out. Not like this is a good man that's been elected. We all know that. We've seen what he's done in the past. We know what he'll do in the future. Maybe we should stop worrying about it and just breathe a sigh of relief that it's over and that tomorrow is another day. The sun will rise. We hope. Let me just do something. There we go. That should be a little bit better. How's that? That better? Zoomed it in a bit. Do I look digitized? I don't mean to if I do. Trying some new stuff out here because we got to get creative and inventive on times like this when the world has gone haywire and everything feels backwards and upside down. Oh, you can see the door right there. I got to seal it up a little bit better. Strange that the world leaders are saying nothing about his win. I'm looking for commentary from world leaders about his win, and I'm not seeing anything. I'm just looking at get all the election results. It's live feeds here from the CBC, but I fail to see any commentary from other individuals. Let's just go to the politics tab. Okay, here we go. World leaders react to U.S. election. They congratulate Trump. Well, I mean, that's what they're going to do because, what are you going to say? Hey, asshole, we don't like you? I mean, not exactly what we're going to do, right? I mean, that's not really the way. So, yeah, let's just switch things up here, can we, for a moment? And let's just switch things up. There we go. Go back to this camera. And it looks like it seems to be mirrored again. I think it is. It shouldn't be mirrored. Why is it mirrored? Yeah. Why does it do that? It always does that. I hate it. Like, so it looks normal to me, except I want it to look normal to you. Because I'm not the viewer, you are. Go back to the regular camera. I have 2 cams now, so I'm happy about that. There is a third one, but it doesn't seem to be working at the moment. I think I may have unplugged it. Let's go to the video. This is from the CBC, and let's just see what world leaders have to say. It's about a 4-minute clip, so I'm going to grab a cup of coffee while this plays. I'll be right back in.
Because it's 3:47 in the morning Eastern time, it's mid-morning in Europe. We've already seen some reaction from leaders, Volodymyr Zelensky, the Prime Minister of the UK, Keir Starmer, and Ellen Morrow, who is in Washington, has been tracking more of that international reaction for us. What are you hearing, Ellen?
Well, Adrian, it really is pouring in now, as you said, mid-morning in Europe. Congratulations coming from several European capitals for Donald Trump. One of the more notable statements we've had in the last little while is coming from Mark Rutte, the NATO Secretary General, the new NATO Secretary General. And in the statement, he congratulates Donald Trump, and then he goes on to say, his leadership will be key to keeping our alliance strong. I look forward to working with him again to advance peace through strength through NATO. Now, as we know, in Donald Trump's first term, and as we've been discussing, there was a fraught relationship with NATO. When he was campaigning for his first term, he repeatedly criticized the organization, and some would argue he was making a good argument about the countries not meeting their defense spending targets for NATO. But it was an incredibly fraught relationship between Donald Trump and NATO, and there's going to be a lot of questions about what that relationship looks like in this second term, particularly with the war in Ukraine. Now, you mentioned we had that statement earlier from Volodymyr Zelensky a short time ago. It's worth talking about that statement again, congratulating Donald Trump, talking about an era of strong U.S. leadership under Donald Trump, calling it decisive leadership, and then going on to say we rely on continued strong bipartisan support for Ukraine in the United States. And that is a really important part of that statement. And again, we've been talking about this as well because we've heard Donald Trump repeatedly be critical as part of his America First message, repeatedly be critical of the amount of money the United States has spent on weaponry for Ukraine so that it can continue to fight this war against Russia. So, you know, Volodymyr Zelensky, they're obviously making an appeal to Donald Trump, making it clear that that continued support is important. But what are we going to see in this second Trump term when it comes to Ukraine, given everything we've heard from Donald Trump so far? We've also had a reaction from Israel. I mentioned earlier we had heard from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying congratulations on history's greatest comeback. He described it. We've also now heard from Itamar Ben-Gvir, who's the Israeli National Security Minister, a far-right politician in Israel, saying, yes, God bless Donald Trump in a post on X. And I bring that up because there's a lot of questions about what this second term could mean for the war in Gaza. You know, we saw Donald Trump really make an effort with Arab American voters in Michigan, where there's such an important voting bloc in Michigan, where there's a large population. We saw him go there several times, make appeals, promise to end the war in Gaza. But we also know that he was the preferred choice and candidate from the Israeli side. So what does the second term mean for that war? Is Donald Trump really in a position to bring that war to an end like he says he is? Other notable reaction coming in, you mentioned, we heard from Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, saying as the closest of allies, we stand shoulder to shoulder in defense of our shared values of freedom, democracy, and enterprise. We also heard from Emmanuel Macron, who you remember, made an effort to have the best relationship he could with Donald Trump in his first term, saying we're ready to work together as we've been able to do for 4 years in the first term, ready to work together with respect and ambition. And we're just going to see more of this reaction continue to come in as we move through to the day, Adrian.
Well, there you have it. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know what to think. Sorry, I just had to correct my feed here. It's gone haywire. Where we go from here is a tough question. What happens next? I don't know. So here's the funny thing, and I do think this is ironic. I really do. And tell me how you feel about this. Yes, you are right, Cat W. A lot can happen between now and February when he takes power. And here's something that could happen, very well could happen. His sentencing is due, I think, next week, which means he could end up in the clink and then take the oath of office from jail and then immediately pardon himself and get out. That could very well happen. The other thing is he could get into jail and suffer a massive coronary when the cameras are off in his cell, and J.D. Vance just takes the oath of office because he would be known as the vice president-elect. So there's a possibility that Trump will never even see the Oval Office again. Possible. The inside of thereof. I don't think that makes sense, but you know what I'm trying to say. I think that is a distinct possibility. His sentencing is, I think, next week or the week after. He can't pardon himself for the New York State convictions, Linda? Is that true? I didn't know that. So it's distinctly possible that he will never see the inside of the Oval Office again because he could be in jail and he could run his office from jail, which means they would just he can only pardon federal crimes. He cannot reverse convictions of state courts. Thank you. I did not know that. So that's interesting. So state courts have more power. I guess that makes sense, yeah. So he could end up in prison. He can only pardon himself of federal crimes, not state, which means he could very much take the oath of office from the clink, which would be interesting. Would he be in an orange jumpsuit when he does it? And I'm sure the judge, while he's sticking his hand through the bars to put his hand on a Bible, a Trump Bible, no doubt. This is going to be interesting. You're right. Vance is no better. We know that. We know Vance is just a puppet who will do whatever his puppet master tells him. He's a bigger puppet than Trump because he's much more intelligent than Trump, clearly. He's media polished. He's not an idiot, but he'll do whatever his puppet masters tell him and he won't push back, whereas Trump may push back on a few things. Vance won't. He'll just, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He'll do whatever he's told. For whatever reason, I don't know. But it's going to be interesting. Trump could very well wind up in prison in the very near future, take the oath of office from prison, try and pardon himself. He cannot pardon himself for straight crimes, except, here's the question, though. And please bear with me on this, because this is, yes, that's right. Okay, thank you, Elaine. That's why he wanted Georgia charges sent to federal courts, so he could pardon himself from that if elected president. So now that he is president-elect, before he gets sworn in, he will be convicted and probably do some time in prison. And then when he takes the oath of office from a jail cell and he says, I pardon myself, they say, you can't do that for state. He goes, yeah, well, the Supreme Court of Canada says I can do it. Supreme Court of the United States of America, says I can do whatever I want. He has more power than a king. Will he just say, well, I'm just striking down state rules? I mean, he's a dictator. He's a fascist. He's a hateful individual. We know all these things. But will he do that? I don't know. I'm not sitting here whining about the fact that he's the president-elect. Whatever the people voted, that's what they wanted. So they made their choice. Now they have to live with it. Unfortunately, so do the rest of us. It's not like he's the leader of Micronesia, and no shade to Micronesia. Not saying that. It's just the most powerful nation on earth with the world's largest military might. So what happens next? I just don't know. None of us do. But there's a very real possibility that he will take his oath of office from a jail cell and then try and pardon himself, even though it's a state crime. He's prosecuted at the state level. So, yeah, will he try and say, no, I'm the president and I will pass an executive order that now makes me immune to those crimes? Yeah. I wonder if he can do that. He's now basically the king. He has more powers than a king, if memory serves. Throw the Magna Carta out, throw the U.S. Constitution out, because he doesn't give a shit about it. What happens tomorrow? Well, we all get up and we go to work. Well, some of us do. I'm still trying to create income by doing this, along with my ASMR work, my additional music podcast, which I'll be working on today, plus the sales that I'm trying to drum up with the company that I'm a business development manager for. Where do we go from here? Well, we get up and we go about our day and we count our blessings, and we do it one day at a time, just like they say in the AA, one day at a time. No, I've never attended a meeting. I don't have an issue with that, but that is what they say, one day at a time. And that's all you can do, is one day at a time. And look forward to your future. Plan the future that you want. Plan the life that you want. Live the life that you want. Do the best you can for yourself, and take care of yourself and your neighbors and friends. Take care of your community. Make sure that everybody around you knows that if you're in my vicinity, my sphere, my field, you are in my community, you are safe here. You are protected here. We will stand up and take care of you. You don't need to worry about all of the bad people doing bad things to you, because I will not sit by idly and say, when they came for the trade unionists, I did nothing because I wasn't a trade unionist. And then they came for me. Well, guess what? When they came for the gay, I'm gay too. When they come for the trade unionists, I'm a trade unionist too. When they come for the sick, I am sick too. When they come for the people of color, I'm a person of color too. Not really, but you know what I mean, in spirit, because I'm going to stand up for you and make sure that I put my white privilege to good use and protect you and protect every other person in my community and my vicinity, and make sure that you know you have a place here, that you are safe here, that we won't let the bad men do the things they want to do. We will take care of one another. We will be there for one another. After all, we wouldn't be a community if we weren't. We need to stand up and take care of each other. And in Canada, we need to make sure that we don't repeat what they just did in the United States of America and bring in a despot, wannabe dictator, fascist prick. Yeah, that's Pierre Poilievre. He's a fascist prick. That's my opinion of the man. I'm allowed to have an opinion. It's a free country, right? I'm exercising my freedom of expression, and I express that I think he's a fascist prick. I already told us he'll use the notwithstanding clause to make changes the way he wants them. If you are a woman right now and you live in the United States of America and you are young enough to have children, or you are a parent with children who are young enough to have children, or a grandparent, and you're worried, you're upset that you think that what is about to come is going to be very, very bad. Well, it is going to be very, very bad. That's not up for debate. It is going to be very, very bad. But I want you to remember this. There is a way out and a way through. This is going to be very tough going for the next little while. No question. No question, it's going to be very tough for the next while. And I know that people are right now licking their wounds and trying to figure out what their next move is. Democracy hasn't completely died yet, but it could soon, as of January 20th, when the president-elect and vice president-elect get sworn in. That may very well bring an end to the republic and the end to democracy in that country, because they will enact things the way they see fit, and to hell with what anybody else thinks, because remember, they now have the power of a king. So even if Congress isn't on their side, nope, I am going to draft an executive order, and this is what's taking place. Will we see a military coup in the future? I don't know. It's possible. Hey, look, man, at this point, anything's possible. I didn't think that clown would get reelected. I really didn't. I thought there were more cooler heads and that they would prevail, but I guess there's more hatred for a woman of color in a position of power than anything else. I'm going to read this quote that Saucy sent me. It's from Carl Sagan. It's quite famous, and I do happen to love this, and thank you for sending it to me, Saucy. It's from Carl Sagan before he died a number of years ago. The dumbing down of America is most evident in the slow decay of substantive content in the enormously influential media. The 30-second sound bites, now down to 10 seconds or less, lowest common denominator programming, credulous presentations on pseudoscience and superstition, but especially a kind of celebration of ignorance. Well, Carl Sagan was right. He's right then, and it's just as prescient today. Tomorrow is another day. Today will continue on. Dan, if you're home, I'm going to reach out to you, see if we can do an interview at some point today. Yesterday, I had meetings and other things that I had to take care of, but I'll reach out to you a little later on. Maybe we can have a tete-a-tete and discuss homelessness and move on to some other things instead of just dwelling on the doom and gloom of today. Because let's face it, we have to move forward. The world has changed, not for the better. Not for the better when it comes to those of us who are progressive and don't look like me. Alrighty. I'm going to wrap this up for today because, it's been a day. So thank you to our podcast founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, CanadianTarot.com, and of course, the Pepper Master that gives me those pepper sauces I love oh so much. You can find us on any place where you get your fine podcasts. You can get us at podpage.com. I'll put the title on the scroll at the bottom. It's podpage.com/The True North Eager Beaver with a hyphen between each word. After the /, of course, /the and then hyphen between each word. You can find us on Apple Podcasts at The True North Eager Beaver. And of course, YouTube, right here where we are broadcasting live, that we do 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. And we hope to spread the news about this channel and get all the people who hate us to watch too, because the more viewers we get, the more money we can earn. And we are earning some money. I'm not ready to make this my full-time gig yet. I want to. This is what I want to do full-time, but I can't do it yet. I need a second gig, which right now is only commission-based. So this is my only source of income at the moment. So if you want to throw a few bucks our way to keep this channel on the air and keep us broadcasting, you can scan the coffee QR code that I just pointed to in the right-hand corner of the screen, or left-hand corner, I guess, for you, right for me. And if you want to get all our information, you can go to podpage.com. You can scan the QR code that's right underneath my mic flag. That'll take you right there, which is sponsored by the Ray Girl, the fabulous, feisty, the awesome Ray Girl, who I had a chance to spend time with a few weeks ago. We went to Irene's Pub to see a spectacular evening of music and witness some of the best performances I've seen in a long time, and raise money for mental health for youth and youth support, Blues for the Youth. It's a program that's been ongoing in Ottawa for a while. And a number of individuals came out to support this, a number of high-profile public individuals, and it's their message to spread, not mine. So thank you to the Ray Girl for everything that you do for us. We appreciate you spreading the message of the show and the program. We really do appreciate all that every one of you do for us by getting the message out there and telling people where we are, where you can find us, and how you can join up and become a member. And that also contributes to our revenue stream, which, look, we need revenue. We need revenue to keep going, especially when I don't have any of the money coming in right now. Sorry, I sound like a broken record, probably because I kind of am at the moment. All right, folks. I'm going to wrap this up. You know what I am going to do later today? Yes, I am going to do this later today because I feel it needs to be done. I'm going to give you an ASMR later today for those who need a place to come and chill. I haven't determined a time frame yet, but I will do it. It's youtube.com/@Polly'sWorld2005. That's my YouTube channel where you can come and enjoy some ASMR mental health chat, where we talk about our mental health and how we're feeling. And I don't get political on the show, but I will talk about how are we doing today that the world has changed overnight. I will do that a little later today once the construction stops next door, because it needs to be nice and quiet when I do it. If you scan that QR code that's on this corner of the screen, that'll take you directly to my YouTube channel where you can join in the chat that folks normally do like to join in for a little bit while I talk about mental health in a calm, soothing voice and try and bring you a peace of mind. So until we meet again, my friends, which will be, well, tomorrow morning, possibly this evening if you want to join in, I hope that wherever you are in this world, you're okay. Everything's going to be all right. It's not going to be easy. We're going to suffer. Look, the sun will rise tomorrow. The sun will set today. It's another day. We will have another day tomorrow. Now we just have to start rebuilding because it looks like everything's been burned to the ground, but it hasn't yet. It may soon will be, but it hasn't yet. All right. My words of wisdom today. Take care of yourself. Take care of your friends and neighbors, and reach out to those who are, who are now feeling like they are in serious jeopardy, who feel like they're in their livelihood or their life or their lifestyle is being threatened. Reach out to them and ask them if they need to chat, if they want to chat. And if they just need a quiet place to come and listen to some soothing words, send them to my YouTube channel. Yes, I know that's self-serving. I'm not arguing with that. It is self-serving. But we do lift each other up by being a community. So let's show ourselves community today and take care of each other. It's time to cue the cock.
You are listening to a True North Eager Beaver Media Incorporated podcast. The True North Eager Beaver podcasts are proudly brought to you by our founding sponsors, the Misfit Mysteries from Corvid Moon Publishing, your source for science fiction, fantasy, and cozy mysteries featuring a broad diversity of characters. CanadianTarot.com, their uniquely Canadian online eclectic tarot community, and The Peppermaster, hot pepper sauces made from farm-fresh ingredients to thrill your taste buds and expand your mind. We are grateful to the Crier Media Network for its support, Pete Jarvis for our artwork, and Paul Joseph Something for our opening and closing sequence music.
So something I discovered here, it looks like Trump even won the popular vote. Wow. I guess people are afraid of a strong woman of color. Won the popular vote by a pretty large margin. Let me see if I can find that number. I just saw it. It flashed across my screen. I'll just type it in and see if we can find what that number was. He won the Electoral College and the popular vote. Apparently, this is what America wanted. Yeah, so, well, here are the numbers. Harris, 67 million. Trump, 71 million. That's a pretty big margin. Popular vote, Democrats, 66,227,894. Republicans, 71,173, 126. So almost 5 million votes more. But less people voted, apparently. In 18 million less people voted this year than in the 2020 election. Is that voter suppression? Sorry. I don't know. Tough to say. Anyway, take care. You want to check in later on the ASMR, I will be here to give you some soothing thoughts and exercises we can do to make each other feel a little bit better about ourselves when we're feeling kind of down. And those who rejoice in our loss, we weren't running a race, folks. And there will be people who come in, see, you lost, you suck. Ignore them. They're just trolls. They don't have anything better with their lives. They like to gloat. Let them gloat. Ignore them. Let it roll off your back like water off a duck. I'll see you.